Good evening, high school football fans. This is High School Football America for February the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I'm Jeff Fisher, host of the show and founder and editor-in-chief of High School Football America and highschoolfootballamerica.com. Coming to you from beautiful, sunny Southern California this evening. And I got a great show lined up for you here on Valentine's Day. Again, we don't take any time off. There is no off season. A lot of people consider the fact that last Wednesday, National Signing Day, it was kind of, a little bit of a respite here, but we like to go 12 months a year here for you. And remember, if you need a fix, we've had so many wonderful coaches on this show through the course of what's nearly now 2 years. You can always go check them out in our archives. Go to highschoolfootballamerica.com and to artistfirst.com. Both places, all of the shows are there for you to listen to. They're free. You can listen on demand. So good way to keep your high school football hunger cured a little bit during the off season. High School Football America is brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, and they appreciate you for tuning in each and every Thursday and letting us share these great high school football stories with you. And they want to remind you that, like football, Frosted Flakes is another passion that you can share with your kids, dads, whenever you're enjoying football with your children, whether it's throwing the ball around, watching a game on television. Why don't you just do it over a bowl of Frosted Flakes, or when you're discussing your passion for the game of football at breakfast? Get out Tony the Tiger and enjoy that with your children. Want to remind you that you should go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, and there on the right side of the page you will see the Frosted Flakes ad, which is a direct link to their Facebook page. So click on the ad, go right to their Facebook page, like that, and we have some videos that are going to be coming out here shortly that we shot during the 2012 season, which highlight fathers, coaches, sons, daughters enjoying the game of high school football, or youth football in some cases, and just sharing that passion back and forth together. Want to remind you that we've started several new things on the website. If you haven't been there in a little bit, please be sure to go and check things out, because we are making things bigger and better as we listen to more and more of what you want. As we've always said from the beginning when we started this radio show, we wanted the website to be more than just national rankings and recruiting and all that, and we tried to give you news from around the nation, tweet it out through our social media. But if you go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, you'll see right at the top of the page you have many ways to join our family. And we've got our YouTube channel there, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, Pinterest, all of those things that you need. LinkedIn, we have that too for you, so you can join the family by just going to highschoolfootballamerica.com and clicking on them, subscribing, liking, following, whatever the case may be for the various social media out there. And one big thing that we have is we have just put the radio show on iTunes. That's right. So all you have to do is when you go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, on the navigation bar right there at the top where I'm talking about seeing the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest icons, you'll see one for iTunes. It's right all the way to the right of the page, and all you have to do is click on that, and you can go to iTunes and download it free. So you can take High School Football America with you wherever you want to go. You can listen to it in the car, doing your jog, your walk, whatever it may be, during exercise. You can listen to everything we do here at highschoolfootballamerica.com, and we will be putting all of the shows up there right now. I think we've got a pretty good list. I think we're back into to the beginning of June this year. But again, great way to relive high school football here during the off season. Something else that we just started. We started it on the Super Bowl, and we will have our first official one coming out next Wednesday. We have the High School Football America newsletter, also free, just like everything else we do here. We do not charge you for any of the information. But all you have to do is go to the website. You'll see right above the icons there, it says Join Us, and you can get the newsletter every Wednesday delivered in your email box by just clicking on, giving us a little bit of information, and you'll be able to have that each and every week. So again, go and check out highschoolfootballamerica.com. Again, lots of new stuff there. Here's a cool one that we started just last week. We want to have the students out there, and not talking student athletes. It can be just a student, somebody who loves football, and maybe a cheerleader, maybe a band member. How would you like to hear your voice on High School Football America, and how would you like to support your team by getting your coach and your program talked about here on High School Football America. All you have to do is go to our homepage at right beneath the current radio show, which you can click on there and listen to the High School Football America radio show. You'll see a picture of some young men cheering at a game that we were at here in Southern California this year, and it says, show your school spirit on High School Football America, win a chance to promote your team on our radio show, and enter here. So all you have to do is click on that box and give us your email. We will then be back in contact with you. So, what we want to know is, why your school should be promoted here on High School Football America. As it is, it's just really difficult. We can get 3 to 4 interviews in a show, so we can't get all 15,000 high school programs on here, but there are so many great programs out there. We thought, why not get the students involved? And that's what we want you to do. Please contact us that way, and it'll be real easy for us to find you, and then we'll discuss on why your team should be on the air here, and we're looking to do that in the middle of March, where we're going to select the first one. So if your school gets selected, you're the person that gets to say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I go to so-and-so high school, and we're proud to have my coach, blah, 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 on the air. So please join up at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Also want to remind everyone that tickets are almost gone for the Maxwell Football Club's 76th annual gala in Atlantic City in New Jersey. The Maxwell Football Club, a partner with us here at highschoolfootballamerica.com, as we help them on the high school side of things. The great thing about the Maxwell Football Club is they take care of football from the lowest level on up to the NFL, up to the pros, and their gala will be celebrating the players of the year and coaches of the year at the pro level, right down into the college level, and they also have a National Player of the Year. We talked about Derrick Henry from Yulee High School in Florida, now enrolled at Alabama, one of the best running backs ever in America. And if you just go by statistics, he is the best, as he broke the national rushing record last year. But all of the winners will be in Atlantic City coming up on March the 1st at Harrah's. So if you want to become a member or just attend the event, just go to maxwellfootballclub.org. The one thing that I want to mention about the Maxwell Football Club that makes it really cool is how many times do you sit back and the Heisman Trophy is won by so-and-so, or so-and-so wins this MVP, and you're like, I wouldn't have chosen that person. Well, if you become a member of the Maxwell Football Club, and it only costs you $35 to do that per year, then you become a voting member. So you can vote on their National College Player of the Year, their Defensive Player of the Year, the Chuck Bednarik Award. You get to vote on the NFL Coach of the Year and the NFL Player of the Year. It's really a cool thing for football fans. You really can feel like you're part of the crew there. So learn more about the Maxwell Football Club by going to highschoolfootballamerica.com. You can click on their little banner there, and it'll take you right to the website so you can join up there. And the last thing we want to tell you about is the turnaround. It is back. If you don't remember it from last year, well, you need to go back and read some of it. I think Jason Strunk, the head coach at Lubbock High School in West Texas, wrote, 62 stories last year that took us deep inside his Texas program that had fallen upon hard times back in the 40s and 50s. Lubbock High School, a proud tradition of high school football, but starting with the 1975 season, the Westerners hadn't had a playoff appearance or a winning season. They broke one of those streaks last year. Jason Strunk is going to start his third year here in 2013, but the team snapped a 25-game losing streak. And then after that, they were able to achieve another goal, which was they were able to make the playoffs for the first time since the mid-'70s. They're still looking for that elusive winning season, and Jason Strunk, who just does a really nice job of going inside with his writing. He does a really wonderful job with it. Gives you more than the X's and O's. Talks about relationships with coaches, some of his philosophy, and he wrote his first one for 2013 it was yesterday, and we posted it up there. So all you have to do is go to the homepage there. Down at the bottom, you can see the turnaround. It clicks you to everything. You can see all of the posts from last year. Also in the navigation tab, all you have to do is pull down and drop it down at news, and you'll see the turnaround there. So just happy to have Jason Strunk back this year to be writing for us. And we're going to also be doing that with several Southern California coaches We've got several of them lined up, and we're going to talk about that in the coming weeks. And speaking of Southern California, we are off and rolling with our High School Football America SoCal Stadium project. We've got some really cool photos up there from schools from throughout Southern California. We've got 2 up there, and we're going to be adding a lot during the off season. And the latest one is it's the Graveyard from Cathedral High School. It's got a great view of the cityscape of Los Angeles in downtown Los Angeles. It's a tiny little stadium between Dodger Stadium and Chinatown in Los Angeles, and the field itself is built on what is, I should say, an old graveyard. Now the bodies have been moved to another cemetery, but really cool shots of the city of Los Angeles and some neat information on the graveyard at Cathedral High School. So again, all of that for you in our special SoCal Fox Sports LA tab right in the navigation bar there, so you get to see it all there. So just thought we'd spend a little time here at the top reacquainting you with the way we are rebranding highschoolfootballamerica.com. Lots of fun stuff there, and we encourage everyone. This is an interactive situation, so if you want to let us know about a story that we don't know about, please feel free to email me at jeff@highschoolfootballamerica.com. Good show for you tonight coming up, and we're going to go outside the lower 48, going up to Alaska, going north to Alaska. Someone once sang about that. And we're going to talk with a coach up there going to be entering his final season of high school football coaching. That's not why we're talking to him, though. Talking safety and a program, an Adopt a Helmet program that Chugiak's Dale Shackelford is doing for his school there. He wants to try and get all the equipment up to snuff. Tough economic times for the Anchorage School District up there. So he and the Booster Club have come up with a program where they're trying to get some Rydell 360 helmets, trying to get 100 of them. So they're going to the public and to corporations up there. And we thought, well, let's see if we can help them out down here in the lower 48. So we're going to be talking to Duncan Shackelford about Chugiak High School, his helmet program, and a little bit about Alaska football. I always enjoy talking about that. It reminds me of playing in the snow all the time, and as a kid that was something real fun to do. So Duncan's going to be coming up here in just a few minutes. And then a little bit later, again, last Wednesday was a National Letter of Intent signing day. We have a complete list, name by name, alphabetical list, state by state, on highschoolfootballamerica.com. And those are kids that signed letters of intent. But there's, something that has developed over the years. We've always heard of walk-ons, but now there's preferred walk-on status. And we're going to talk with a young man who we've had on the show before, because I think it's interesting. We understand that it's easy to get recruited as a quarterback, as a running back, a lineman, a defensive back. It's kind of hard if you're a punter. And Shane Tripucka, who's from a pretty famous family, his grandfather Frank played for the Denver Broncos, and then his number was retired, number 18. This year, when Peyton Manning went to the Broncos, well, Frank had to get his number out of mothballs, and he was happy to do it to give it to Peyton Manning. And Shane Tripucka has gotten preferred walk-on status at Texas A&M. Going to play with Johnny Manziel there, and we're going to talk with Shane a little bit later in the show about what was a good year for his football program, the Allen Eagles winning the state championship, but more importantly, all of his hard work running around the country at some of these, like the Chris Saylor punting camp, kicking camp, paying off with an opportunity to get a scholarship at Texas A&M. So Shane Tripucka coming up. But we encourage you to go to highschoolfootballamerica.com news section, state by state, and see every young man that signed a Division I letter of intent. We're also going to try and expand that with some of the kids that signed at the what I still call the Division I AA level. So we're going to be doing that over the course of the next couple of weeks. But lots of good stuff there. Hey, thanks for all the feedback on last week's show. We had Texas State Representative Eddie Lucio III on talking about his legislation that would limit full contact in high school football, also the middle school level in Texas, to once per week. We still have our question up on the website there. What is your opinion on Texas's lawmaker introducing legislation limiting contact practices in season to once a week? So please feel free to go and vote. The two choices, good idea, bad idea, kind of split right now, but we'd love to have you vote there on that. You heard Jason Strunk the head coach at Lubbock and the guy that writes the turnaround for us, say, hey, with the spread offenses now, maybe we don't hit as much as we used to. It's just the evolution of the game. So maybe the legislation isn't a big deal. We're going to talk to Duncan Shackelford at Chugiak in just a few moments about his thoughts on limiting things, and obviously at the end of the day, it's all about the safety of our student athletes. And I'm sure that as the coaches get involved and there's more and more talk about this, they will hammer out something that's good for everybody. The almost an identical bill was introduced in Illinois last month too, that we have written about up on the website. So if you missed the Eddie Lucio III interview and then the follow up with Jason Strunk at Lubbock, it's right on the homepage. Don't go away from this show, but feel free to go and listen to it in our archives or the artistfirst.com archives. All right, all set. This segment brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. We're all set to hop into the show right now. Taking a break. When we come back, heading north to Alaska, talking Chugiak high school football and their Adopt a Helmet program. You're listening to High School Football America on the Artist First Radio Network.
GTM Sportswear is proud to sponsor outstanding student athletes through the Athlete of the Month program with the National High School Coaches Association. For any sport or any season, GTM has your team covered from practice to performance with uniforms, warm-ups, practice wear, fan apparel, and more. Go online to gtmsportswear.com and find a sales representative in your area for a one-on-one consultation. With dependable apparel at the right price, outfitting your team has never been easier with GTM Sportswear.
We kick off High School Football America tonight in the state of Alaska. I want to remind you that this segment is brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, reminding you to share what you love with who you love. That means your passion for football. And I have such a passion that I don't know why it is, but every time I get to go, out of the lower 48 to Alaska, I just have a heck of a time. I guess I have this imagery in my mind of wonderful mountains and snow and kids playing football in the snow. And in a lot of cases, that's the case. But earlier this week, put up on First and Fisher a story about Chugiak High School in Alaska. And we know there's a lot of debate going on about the safety of our student athletes around the country, and they're trying to get some new helmets up there. They're going to do it in an interesting way. We know there's some tough economic times, so the Booster Club and the head coach, Duncan Shackelford, who's going to join me here on the show, they've created an Adopt a Helmet program. Welcome to the show to talk about this, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, it's fun to go up there, and I know there's more than caribou and all those other things. But let's get these listeners down south here, understanding a little bit about your community, the size of it, where it's located, and then we'll hop into how football plays in, and then get into your Adopt a Helmet program. So tell us a little bit about Chugiak.
We are a rural community right outside of right outside of Anchorage, about 10 miles north. The Chugiak, Eagle River, Peters Creek community entails about probably, I would say 36,000 people, which in the broad scope of population, the state of Alaska makes us like the third largest city in the state of Alaska. So, I guess there's a lot of pride there. Of course, in Southern California, that would be the outskirts of Riverside or something like that. Down. But
nice geography lesson. I like that's a geography lesson for people. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. No, we're very proud of our community up here. We can be a very transient community because of Joint Base, Elmendorf, Richardson up here. We have a lot of people that move in and out, and so we experience a lot of people up here from the States, and which adds a lot of flavor to our community. But it's a beautiful place up here. We're still working with a little bit of dark here at about 8:15 in the morning right now, with a nice blanket of snow on the ground, and not looking to spring climb for another couple of months.
Well, as I told Coach before we started taping this interview, right now I was seeing some dolphins swim up and down the coast here. So
you said you weren't going to rub that in.
I wasn't, but you know what? Sometimes it just feels good to do that, considering I just moved from Chicago and I know what cold is all about. We're talking with Duncan Shackelford tonight, the head coach at Chugiak High School in Alaska, and we're going to talk about his Adopt a Helmet program. But again, we need to kind of give a flavor of the community and how sports fits into that. So let's talk about about your Mustangs. How long have you been the head coach there, and how does high school football kind of fit into the fabric of the community?
This will be my 10th year back at Tripucka High School. I was here a number of years ago as a defensive coordinator with another gentleman, and then moved on and took a head coaching job at another school in the Anchorage School District for 10 years, and then moved back out here when the opportunity presented itself. It's I believe, one of the best places in the state to coach. We have our own community, our own field. We don't utilize a district field or anything. We've just a couple years ago renovated with field turf, put a $100,000 scoreboard in, and putting brand new press boxes and everything in this year. So it really is going to be, if not the best facility, one of the best facilities in the state. We have a community that's very, very sports oriented out here, especially football, wrestling, hockey are three of the big sports. But I think Tripucka has always hung its hat on its football team. We're a school of about 1,100, and have recently split off. Well, recently, I would say 5-6 years now, with another school in our community, which is Eagle River High School. So we used to be right around 1,800, 1,900 kids, good-sized school. But football has got a very it's very ingrained here in the hearts in the Eagle River community, and we take a lot of pride of it, a lot of pride in our football team here.
And I've seen the pictures and some videos of your field, very picturesque. I love the mountains in the background. I know you have the state championships going on there. We're talking with Duncan Shackelford, the head coach at Tripucka, and let's get into the reason I got all charged up and wanted to call you and get you on the show here, which is safety, as I said at the top. Very big issue. There are the edicts that are out there now about refurbishing helmets and the 10-year rule and all that. But I saw a little story, I think it was on alaskapublic.org, about you guys looking to get the new Riddell 360s, and obviously economic times are what they are, so you kind of turn to the public on this. So explain what you're trying to do with your Adopt a Helmet program.
Well, I would love to take all the credit in the world for this, because I believe it's such a fantastic opportunity to share with the public about what's going on, what's happening. But actually, my booster club's the one that got it rolling. We have a very proactive group here in our school that have just been incredibly supportive of what we're trying to do with in keeping safety, just not only from it seems like a lot of times in football it's a top down. The varsity gets the best helmets, the best shoulder pads and gear and all this. We're taking a look at, we need to outfit all of our kids, because we wish the impacts just happen at the varsity level, and but we know that that's just not the case. And so they came up with this proposal and said, "Coach, what do you think?" And I said, "Man, I love it. Let's get it going." Basically, what we're doing is going out to businesses, to individuals, everybody, not only in our community but around the state. And what we're trying to do is get these people to understand that if we can put our kids in absolutely the best stuff that I think is on the market right now, can we cut down the instances of injury, possibilities of TBI, things that are that are affecting our kids at playing time, and worst case scenario injuries that may end their career or cause some sort of physiological damage. So we are in this situation right now that we think we're at a crossroads. We don't have a lot of money. Our school district doesn't have money to give us new uniforms, new helmets, new shoulder pads, and quite honestly, it's a safety situation, and so we got to step up the plate and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where we're at.
Yeah, I think I read one of the articles. The deficit in the school district is a couple of tens of millions there, so that obviously makes an impact. The helmets, I believe, retail on their website for $375-ish and all that. How many kids are in the program? I mean, what are we talking here? Are we talking 35,000, 350,000? What type of numbers are we talking about?
In our program, we have about 100 kids on the average every year. Last year we were down numbers a little bit, but it fluctuates with obviously with glasses and things like that. But our goal is 100 brand new helmets, and quite honestly, I don't know if we get 100 helmets where I'm going to store them at, but I do know that it would provide every person with a brand new, and we've been very good about updating our helmets, and I have a great rep from Rydell, and we try to do a good job making sure that we are, every year we have helmets going out and getting checked and reconditioned to make sure there's no cracks or anything that you can't see in these helmets, because that's unseen problems are the ones that sometimes bite you when you're not looking. So, the goal is 100 helmets. I told her, I said, man, if we got 50 or 60, I'd be happy. But we also are taking a look at it this way. We don't mind sharing the wealth. If we found 3 or 4 or 5 corporations that wanted to sponsor 50, 60, 100 helmets, something like that, we'd like to, possibly even share the wealth with the other schools. Hey, look, we've got way more than we can. We want you guys to get some helmets and stuff out of this, and try to get it around, because my goal obviously is for Chugiak football to be as well fitted as any team around. But in the same sense, I want all kids to be safe. Mm-hmm. That's my role as an educator. That's my role as a coach, is making sure that I'd love to see every kid in our state have the best that money can buy. That way they're protected as best can be.
Talking with Duncan Shackelford tonight, the head coach at Chugiak High School in Alaska, talking about his Adopt a Helmet program, trying to get the Rydell 360s in, which would make things safer. And I mentioned before we started taping this, Coach, Texas has a legislator that's just introduced a bill that would limit full contact in season to once a week. That was followed up by a legislator in Illinois that's done it. We've had Chris Nowinski on the show here from the Sports Legacy Institute, former WWE wrestler. He's trying to go around the country and tell the state athletic associations, let's ban hitting during the off season. I'd love to get your take on a couple of these items, and we'll take it one by one. Let's start during the off season, since we're in that right now. How do you feel, and what is the situation in Alaska? Are you guys able to have a spring practice? How much time can you spend with the kids in the off season, and what do you think, even if you don't have a contact, what do you think of rules like that?
Well, we're much different than the grand state of Texas and some of those other places that have they can only have 1 month of spring ball and things like that. We're lucky sometimes with the weather if we can get a full week of spring ball in. So we're still waiting for the polar bears to get off the ice and stuff like that in May. So
I love it.
But I do know that we do not have contact in our spring ball, and by the time constraints that we have, but also we don't have a month of football to where we can take a week like you would do in a regular season and work towards proper tackling technique and work to certain things to get the body in shape, to get the head, neck, and in some kind of shape. It doesn't matter how many weights you lift. I mean, certainly that helps, but I mean, contact is contact, and if you don't have that time to teach things appropriately on a consistent level, then there's always that situation where somebody can get hurt. And so we do a helmet and pads, but it's very limited contact. And by limited contact, that would mean hands to chest, things like that. But as far as helmet to the body and stuff, we just don't do that in our spring practice. So,
okay.
Which I think helps, and in some cases does hinder us a little bit up here.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about in-season, full contact. I had on last week's show, and I had the state representative on the show talking about it. He said, look, I'm not trying to end football. I'm just trying to make it safer. We had a Texas coach who came on and said, the game has evolved so much with the spread offenses and all that we really, thinking about it, don't hit, more than once a week, maybe on Tuesday or something. So what's your thought on in-season hitting? I'm not quite sure. I always say in Pennsylvania, we don't know what a forward pass is. yet, so I don't know what you guys are doing in Alaska, but we're still 3 yards in a cloud of dust in PA.
You know, I'm thinking that we need to go to Pennsylvania and play football. I'm the same way. I'm a triple option wishbone guy, so people kid me. I mean, a big game for me passing is 4 times in the air. So, no, we're seeing a lot of that up here. A lot of teams are going to that spread and spread option sort of look, and I think in some ways, coach is right there. You have to put so much time into pass skelly situations and prepping to the multi-formational look that you see of the different offenses this year, that you really do maybe only get one big day, what we call a big beef day, where we're up, really smacking pads and things like that. I do also believe, though, with the new offenses that are in, you have multiple receivers crossing the field. A lot of things are predicated off the short passing game, which leads itself to guys in the flats and outside linebackers getting running starts. Some of these guys are catching the football. Mm-hmm. And so I think that although it's not smash mouth, 3 yards in a cloud of dust type stuff that you and I are used to, Jeff, I think it lends itself sometimes maybe more vicious hits. Because there's a time where the guy stopped, he's catching the ball, and here comes a guy blindside with a full head of steam. I think it's important, really important for us when we're teaching things like open field tackling and that we talk to our kids about not leading with our helmet. Things that we've seen in the NFL where guys are coming up trying to make the big helmet-to-helmet contact and or taking a hand or an elbow or something like that to the helmet. So it's imperative for us as coaches to make sure that we're teaching proper safety all the time.
That's what it comes down to. You got to drill it all the way down. Going to wrap up here with Duncan Shackelford. He's the head coach at Chugach High School. They've got an Adopt a Helmet program, and the reason I got him on the air here, as he said, they're going around the state and the community trying to raise some money, but you never know. If somebody out there in America would like to help this program and the athletes and student athletes in Alaska, we can maybe get that done for you. I don't know, but at least we're giving it a shot. So if somebody is listening to the show tonight and wants to help you guys out, what's the best way to get in touch with you and your booster club?
Well, I appreciate that, Jeff, a lot. The best way to get in touch with me, first, my email here is Anchorage School District email, and it's just Shackelford, SHACKELFORD _ Duncan, at ASD, Anchorage School District, ASDK12.org.
And we'll tweet that out for you too, and get that out there. Let's wrap up. Every coach that I have on here, because I just can't wait for 2013 as far as the fall season. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. I'm going to ask you about your team, and then I'm going to ask you about the overall lay of the land in Alaska. And we'll start with that. We had a couple of your colleagues on here from Barrow and Service, I guess about probably 2 years ago now, and they said they were very happy with the growth of football in the state. The Coaches Association is doing a lot to promote it. So tell us a little bit about the state of the union of Alaska high school football right now.
Well, it is. I'm sure you talked to probably Coach Newmy down in Service. When he was at Service, and I think it's Coach Voss up in Barrow. But it is growing, and it's getting better and better all the time. We are going out and playing some excellent teams outside, and I used to travel a lot. We kind of started that when I was at Diamond High School in 2000, going out and playing good quality teams, and we can put our pants on with most people. We're having our first big Alaska Football Coaches Association meeting this year, March 1st and 2nd. We're going to have it in Anchorage, because nobody can afford to fly outside to see camps anymore. So we're doing that this year, inviting people up and just trying to make our association stronger and better. So this is going to be my last year as a head coach going into this 2013 season. So I want to make sure that when I leave, I'm proud of everything that we've accomplished as an association up here for coaches. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the team then. So obviously a big year for you. I know the kids are probably already talking about it to put Coach Shackelford out on a high note. But what type of program do you have? Kids coming back, and what are some of the goals that you set for yourself this season?
Well, we offensively we return 7 guys. Defensively, we return 6. So we're right in the middle there. We've got some good kids rolling up from the JVC team level to help make some of those needed transitions from kids that we've left. Like I said, we're a triple option shotgun, multiple formation pistol type thing. Sometimes we kind of roll things around, but when we want to get after it, we line up in that old Alabama, Oklahoma wishbone and come after people. And I'm blessed with some really good athletes in the backfield. Good offensive line. Not as many guys as I'd like, but they do a good job getting after it. And we play aggressive defense. So we'd like to. I'd like to finish on a nice high note this year. We've been down a couple of years here, and I'm not one that tolerates losing too well. So. We just have to work harder here in this off season and get ready.
So I got to ask you, I hear wishbone, and now I've got all kinds of memories of Nebraska and Oklahoma and Texas and all that. Do you wear the tearaway jerseys? That's real old school.
Yeah, to just show the belly button. Yeah, No, I don't think we can do it anymore. Plus, I just always thought those were the grossest things I ever saw. I guess because I had a belly on. Never wanted to wear one. So.
Oh, well, we've now crossed into territory we don't need to cross into, that's for sure. But, Coach, I really appreciate you taking the time. Like I said, I love to educate America on, there is football out of Texas and Pennsylvania and Ohio and Florida, and I appreciate it. I appreciate what you do for the student athletes over your career, and hopefully, maybe someone will hear this and be able to help you out. But we're going to do as much as we can to put it up on our social media, let people know what you're doing with the Adopt the Helmet. And thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight.
Jeff, I so appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir.
You're very welcome. This segment brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about little D1 recruiting, but we're not going to talk about the guys signing letters of intent. We're going to talk with Shane Tripucka. You may remember his uncle, Kelly, played for the Detroit Pistons. He just got a preferred walk-on status with Texas A&M. He's going to play with Johnny Manziel. We're going to talk to Shane about being recruited as a punter. That's something that's a little different. We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to High School Football America.
GTM Sportswear is proud to sponsor outstanding student athletes through the Athlete of the Month program with the National High School Coaches Association. For any sport or any season, GTM has your team covered from practice to performance with uniforms, warm-ups, practice wear, fan apparel, and more. Go online to gtmsportswear.com and find a sales representative in your area for a one-on-one consultation. With dependable apparel at the right price, outfitting your team has never been easier with GTM Sportswear.
This segment of High School Football America brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Time to revisit a story that we introduced you to in the fall. His name is Shane Tripucka. He was a punter on the state champion Allen Eagles in Texas, and we talked to him about the difference between being recruited as a punter as opposed to everybody else. It's easy to be a quarterback and get recruited, or a tight end or a defensive back, but punters are a little different, and Shane joined us back in the fall to talk about that. We've had his father on the show here, and the good news is he has gotten his marching orders. He's going to be at Texas A&M. He got a preferred walk-on status with the Aggies, and Shane's here to talk about what the process was like since the last time we talked to him. Welcome to the show, and congratulations, Shane.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, well, we like I said, the first time we had you on here, it was fun to talk about the difference because, it's not easy to be a punter, and we learned about your journey with your dad and all the punting camps like Chris Saylor and all that. But let's kind of start with the meat today, which is you've made your decision. You did have an offer from Sam Houston State for a scholarship, but you wanted to play, at that top level, and you've decided to go with the Aggies. Tell us a little bit about what went into that decision.
Well, there was a lot of schools that I've been talking to, and a lot of interesting parts about each one of them. I did get a scholarship from San Diego State. Went down there, just didn't feel like it was a comfortable spot for me. So we kind of narrowed it down to a few schools, and it just seemed like everything about Texas A&M popped and caught my attention, and I just loved every aspect of it, and it just really felt like a comfortable spot for me, and I'm really excited to get down there next year and be an Aggie.
So when we talked to you in the fall, we discussed, the difference between being a punter being recruited and a 3, 4, or 5-star quarterback. What was the road like for you? Especially toward the end, because I remember watching your dad on Facebook, and he would kind of tweet me something or text me and say, "Oh, this is nerve-wracking." So what was it like for you?
Oh, it was not one of the best experiences ever. It's a tough road. It's a lot of frustration, but I mean, it all works out in the end. But it's definitely tough, and kind of stick in there and hope for the best.
So maybe that was the hardest part. Actually, putting the ball on your foot's the easy part, I guess, is the best way to look at it. So now, preferred walk-on. This is a term that's getting to be more and more known in America. When I was I'm your dad's age, so back in the day you were a walk-on, and that just meant you walked onto the program. Tell us what preferred walk-on means and how that all kind of shapes into once you get onto the campus there at Texas A&M.
Well, preferred walk-on pretty much means that you're going there as an athlete that would be treated as a scholarship athlete, but for some reason or something they just don't have a scholarship, or they just can't afford to use one on you. You go there, you get in the camp, you're along with all the other scholarship athletes, so you're part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
You go in and you gotta earn your spot, or you just go in, you get your spot, and then you work and earn the scholarship with the next year or whatever it is. So.
Well, it's kind of, that's good. You got to work for it. I know your dad, so he's going to be happy, and he knows you're going to work hard for it. We're talking with Shane Tripucka tonight, punter at Allen High School. He is a preferred walk-on at Texas A&M. That news coming out last week during a national signing day. Shane, you've had, quite a year, aside from the recruiting process, and we had your head coach on here. We named you guys co-national champs. Let's kind of relive a few things that happened away from recruiting since we last talked to you. Let's talk about the championship run and the Eagles nabbing, the big kahuna, if you will, in Texas. What was that like for you personally and for your teammates? Because you guys didn't go into the season as the kind of the favorites, if you will, to win the championship.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It started in spring, and we lost a couple big players like Alec Morris and Jonathan Williams and Andrew Rodriguez. There are 3 big players that we had the year before. We'd go into spring. There was just some spots and some things that looked a little different than they had been, and they weren't necessarily as strong. And we really didn't. People didn't really believe in us, and they thought we weren't going to be very good. But we just kept working at it. We changed some things up to our strengths, and we ended up coming into August, and we got a lot stronger over the first 2 weeks of practice. And we just kept it up and did a real good job, and got into the season, ended up having a big upset over South Lake Carroll the first game, and some guys stepped up in some big leadership roles and helped push this team through the season. And it's just, by the time we got to playoffs, we were set. We were on a roll. We had all the momentum, and the guys they had the will to win. And the difference between our team this year and a lot of the other teams is that this team was probably not the most talented, maybe not the best athletes, but we were by far the best team. And we were just all together, and we were all in it for each other. So ultimately, that was probably the reason we won the state championship this year, is because we were a big team, and we cared about each other, and we did it for each other.
Yeah, we have. I actually have a picture of you on the homepage here at highschoolfootballamerica.com with the trophy and a big smile. Can you just take yourself back to a couple of days before Christmas and let us know what's going through your mind? Because that smile probably says it all. But I'd love to hear the words out of your mouth.
Oh, it was insane. This last few minutes of the game, we started getting closer. We started realizing we're going to pull this thing off, and And right as that clock hits, everybody sprints onto the field, and we're tackling each other and screaming. And it was an absolutely remarkable feeling to finally win a state championship after you've been dreaming about it your whole life, and since you were a little kid in elementary school in Allen, looking up to those other players who had been playing before you, and you get to say now that you're one of the 2 teams that's ever won a state championship at Allen High School. And Allen High School's been playing football since, I don't know, the 30s, the 40s. So it's a great feeling, and it was so much fun and a huge, huge thing for us.
Talking with Shane Tripucka tonight on High School Football America, punter for the Allen Eagles, going on to play at Texas A&M in the fall. Right after that, you got a little Christmas break in there. You're off to Florida for the Under Armour All-American game. We talked about that in the fall, and you were so excited to be a part of that. Tell us what that was like. That had to be, right up there with maybe the state championship. A little less, but probably close.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, getting up, we got about 2 or 3 days off, and then we were headed up to Florida after the championship game. So it was a great experience, and got to see a lot of the best players in the country play, and it was kind of opened your eyes to what college football will be like next year. And I really enjoyed the whole time. Got to meet a few guys, and it was just a lot of fun, and turned out to be a great experience for all of us.
How much, like you said, it wasn't all peaches and cream, with the recruiting, although you had a great season on the field and all that, you learned a lot. What do you think you've learned the most through this process that has you maybe better prepared to step onto the campus of Texas A&M in the fall than maybe you didn't know going into this year? Can you kind of put that in words for us?
I think it's all preparation and being patient. I mean, the whole recruiting process was long, and it was a pain in the butt. I'm going to admit it was tough, and a lot of coaching changes at schools and different times they can talk to you and not talk to you, and what their situation was. It was difficult, but I definitely think the patience and just keep working hard while you're waiting and while you're taking care of this. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's really tough, but you'll get through it, and it'll work out.
Well, this one's a little off center here, but we've been doing these. We don't take any time off, so we've been having a lot of coaches on talking 2013 football already. You're not going to be there, but when I talk to Coach, you got a lot of returning talent at Allen. So before you leave there, your current teammates, what are you going to tell them about how tough it is to now go and try and repeat? I mean, how good can this team be in 2013, looking at it from an objective standpoint?
I definitely think they've got the talent and the heart to go out and win it again. I mean, we just preached, work as hard as you can, work like you did when you were with us, and keep up doing what you're doing, and you guys can definitely go back and win it again. They definitely have the players to do it, and they definitely have the heart to do it. It's just all in preparation and getting ready for next season.
And let me just ask this question. I think I asked it the last time. We had mentioned during the interview that it really was a journey between a father and his son, you and Dad Chris. Tell me a little bit about the celebration. That's what we'll end on. When you made your decision, when you knew it was locked down, what did he say to you, and what did you say to him?
Oh, it was such a big relief. It's been very stressful for the both of us, and just to finally know, okay, I'm set and I'm going to this school. It's just so much. You can finally take a deep breath and say, okay, we've finally made a decision, and it's been hard for both of us, but we got through it, and it's good now. So.
Well, I appreciate the honesty there, because people don't understand. Everybody thinks it's real glamorous. They think it's like Hollywood. They see a movie and they think it's great, and they don't know what goes into the making of the sausage, if you will, with that. So we wish you the best of luck. You do a wonderful job when you come on here. I know your dad's so proud of you. You're so well spoken. You can put things into context, and we wish you nothing but the best success. And we look forward to watching you punt at Texas A&M. Good luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Very welcome. That's Shane Tripucka, Allen football in Texas, going on as a preferred walk-on at Texas A&M. Going to take a break. Coming back to wrap things up. You're listening to High School Football America.
GTM Sportswear is proud to sponsor outstanding student athletes through the Athlete of the Month program with the National High School Coaches Association. For any sport or any season, GTM has your team covered from practice to performance with uniforms, warm-ups, practice wear, fan apparel, and more. Go online to gtmsportswear.com and find a sales representative in your area for a one-on-one consultation. With dependable apparel at the right price, outfitting your team has never been easier with GTM Sportswear.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of High School Football America as we hit the 2-minute warning. Thanks for tuning in tonight. If you missed any of the show, please listen to it in our archives on demand. It's all free. You can go to highschoolfootballamerica.com or artistfirst.com to listen to it. Hey, become part of the family. Again, just go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and again, we've got our newsletter that is coming out. We did our inaugural one on Super Bowl Sunday. First one comes out next Wednesday. You can join that through the website. It just says join us right in the right-hand corner there of highschoolfootballamerica.com, and we'll get you hooked up there. Okay, one other final thing we got to tell you about. I should have said this when we're talking about listening on demand. We are now available on iTunes, so you can subscribe to High School Football America through iTunes. That is right there on the homepage of highschoolfootballamerica.com. Want to thank Frosted Flakes for always making this possible, and they appreciate you for tuning in each and every Thursday so we can share these great high school football stories with you. And they want to remind you that, like Frosted Flakes, football is another passion that you can share with your kids, dads, whenever you're talking about football with them. Why don't you do it over a bowl of Frosted Flakes? Go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, click on the Frosted Flakes ad, like them on Facebook. We're going to be putting up some videos that we shot showing the passion of football between dads and their kids coming up here in the very near future. I want to thank Corey King back in Ohio for keeping the show running smoothly, and we want to thank our two guests, Duncan Shackelford from Chugiak High School in Alaska. If you can help them out, contact Duncan. We will tweet out his email address so you can contact him in their Adopt a Helmet program. And also we want to thank Shane Tripucka and congratulate him and his family on him going to Texas A&M. They had a great year at Allen High School, the Eagles winning the Texas 5A Division I championship, and now Shane will try to make it big in college football. That's going to do it for tonight. For now, this is Jeff Fisher saying good night and good sports from Laguna Beach. You've been listening to High School Football America.